And new box office breakdown show here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Zinneberg. Today, we're breaking down the box office of this past weekend domestically, which is US and Canada, from August 9th to the 11th, the second weekend of box office numbers for the month of August. We're also going to break down the overall numbers both domestically and worldwide so far this year and preview the big movie that is hitting theaters this upcoming weekend. So welcome back to the channel. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. We're at 230 subscribers. Let's get to 250 as quickly as possible, guys, by hitting that subscribe button and ringing that bell for notifications. If you're new, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, this show every single Tuesday, out-of-theater reactions, and movie franchise rankings. At the end of my box office shows, I like to preview the week ahead for me here on the channel, so please keep it here for that at the end of the video. Also, please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button down below. Please hit that like button. It helps YouTube recommend my videos more to more people. So please hit that like button down below and comment down below. Respond to every single comment. So let's keep those fun discussions going. What did you see in theaters this past weekend? What are you going to see this upcoming weekend? What are your thoughts on It Ends With Us and Borderlands? What went wrong for one movie? What went really right for another movie? Let me know in the comments section. Without further ado, let's get into the past weekend's box office domestically. As I said, this is US and Canada numbers. And in first place, its third weekend is Deadpool and Wolverine, which gained 100 theaters this past weekend, only dropping 44% in its third weekend, another $53.7 million domestically, 493 million. It will be $500 million, basically $500 million just domestically. Amazing numbers for Deadpool and Wolverine. We have gone through it. This movie has done extremely well. It's going to be one of the highest, it will be the highest grossing rated R film of all time. The 11th film for Marvel, for the MCU to get to the $1 billion club. The second and only movie this year to get to the $1 billion club, which are both Disney films this year. It's a massive win for Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Sean Levy, who are all going to get major things coming off of this movie. And this should bode well for both Deadpool and Wolverine to have some more big things down the line for them in the MCU. We've talked about this movie a lot. Deadpool, Wolverine, at number 1. The big winner, though, of the weekend is It Ends With Us in its opening weekend, opening to $50 million in 3,600 theaters. What a massive surprise. This movie's budget is only $25 million. So technically, just based off this past weekend, this movie has already made up its budget. This is a huge win for Sony Pictures, who is the distributor for the film. You can see when these top book movies do very well, or these best-selling books get adapted, a lot of them do very well. Now, a massive win here is for Blake Lively, who I'm not saying this just because she's married to him, but she has definitely benefited a lot from being tied to her husband, Ryan Reynolds. They have dominated the mainstream media over the last month. Blake Lively showing up at the premiere, which also helped her promote her own movie. And then Ryan Reynolds also helping promote his wife's own movie. They have a production company that also oversees the movie that did a really good job promoting it. And Blake Lively has done a great job just promoting this movie, and she is back in the mainstream, I think, as a bona fide leading actress from a box office perspective. Now, it's crazy is that this movie has had all controversy since the movie came out, how all the actors and the cast have kind of not taken pictures or talked with their own director and co-star Justin Baldoni. Like at the premiere, they all took pictures without him. At the premiere, there's clips of Blake Lively and him getting into heated discussions on set. There are sequel books to It Ends With Us, and you can tell Colleen Hoover is now going to be a mainstay in Hollywood with her books being adapted, as another one of her books, completely different series, has already been picked up and already has a full cast to it. So Colleen Hoover is going to be a force in Hollywood, it seems. There's already been discussions of doing the next book in the It Ends With Us series. even Justin Baldoni even saying that Blake Lively should take over directing. I don't know if that is because of the heat that's been there, but it basically seems that everyone on the cast and the production has kind of turned on Baldoni as the director and co-star. So it seems like even though he himself bought the rights to do this movie in 2019, it seems like if the franchise will move on, he probably will not be in the, at least definitely not in the director's chair. But a massive win all the way around for Blake Lively. Her and Ryan Reynolds have dominated the last month in Hollywood, and 50 million opening on a $25 million budget. Just amazing. While critics don't seem to be liking this movie, most audiences have an A- cinema score, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. So we'll see if there's enough rewatchability, but no matter what, this movie's going to make money for Sony. In third place this weekend from Universal is Twisters in its fourth weekend, $15 million, 34% drop off, $222 million domestically. This movie is not going to do better than the original Twister, which I think is going to shock a lot of people because that movie came out in the late 90s, and still in 90s money will be making more money than Twisters in 2024. Again, the big problem for this movie was that it came out the week before Deadpool and Wolverine. It opened really strong, and it's held up all right, really held up pretty well with the competition it's had to face over the last month. But if it opened maybe a couple weeks earlier, it could have had a stronger success at the box office, as Twisters is already going to be hitting digital this weekend. So we'll see how long Twisters can hold on to the top 5 slot. With it hitting digital, and we'll see how good those digital numbers are. But again, this is still a win. The movie made tons of money, but it didn't make as much as the first Twister, which I think shocked a lot of people. The biggest loser of the weekend is Borderlands from Lionsgate, opening to a whopping $8.6 million. This will be one of the biggest flops in Hollywood in a long time. We have talked about flops here. This movie has a $125 million budget before advertising. So this movie could be really near 200 million based off advertising, and the movie opened to $8 million. This is going to lose a lot, hundreds of millions of dollars for Lionsgate. And you can just see what it feels like as the people, the fans, have let the Hollywood know that if you don't treat their IPs, their video games, and you want to adapt them respectfully, they are not going to show up to the box office. And based off abysmal reviews, opening with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, now I think it's up to around 8 or 9%. No one likes this movie. Borderlands fans who love the video game think this is offensive and disrespectful to one of their favorite IPs. And people like me who didn't even play the games also don't think this is a very good movie. It's going to get no momentum. And I think this is a really big lesson for Hollywood. Things have been turning around for video game adaptations lately. I brought up in my review of Borderlands, the last 2 Sonic movies, The Last of Us for HBO, Super Mario Brothers, Detective Pikachu have all done extremely well. And what has those movies done? Respected the IP and created those films with love of the characters and the world that they are doing. And both fans and even non-fans of the games could feel that this adaptation was not made with the care of the Borderlands games. And Hollywood learns lessons through pockets, do people show up to the movies? And the fact that people did not show up will be a really big lesson for Hollywood and these studios who want to adapt video games, I think, moving forward. So 8 million is awful. Again, it ends with us. $50 million opening for a $25 million budget. That still would have been pretty okay for Borderlands. 8 million is abysmal, and it's gonna be one of the biggest flops ever for movies. So bad. Wrapping up the top 5 is another film from Universal, Despicable Me 4, in its 6th weekend, dropping 30%, another 7.9 million, even though this movie is now available on digital. Last week, the movie was made available for digital, and it's still in the top 5 with another 7.9 million, 330 domestic. This franchise continues to churn out. So it gives hope for Twisters that even with it being on digital, it can still bring in more money in the theatrical exhibition. Moving on to the top 10 domestic this year, Inside Out 2, still the biggest movie of the year domestically, 636 million. Deadpool Wolverine's number 2 with 493. Despicable Me 4 is number 3 at 330 million. Dune Part 2 at 4 with 282. Twisters at 5 of 222. So now 5 movies into the $200 million or above club so far this year. Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire at 6 of 196. Kung Fu Panda 4 at 7 with 193. Bad Boys Ride or Dies at 8 with also 193. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at 9 with 171. And A Quiet Place Day 1 at 10 with 138. 12 movies so far this year, over 100 million domestically. Looking at the worldwide numbers, this is combining the domestic box office and the international box office. Inside Out 2 is at $1.59 billion. It's still in theaters and it'll hit digital towards the end of the month of August. Deadpool Wolverine is the second billion-dollar movie of the year, $1.029 billion. Amazing numbers. As I said, both now billion-dollar movies this year are from Disney. Can another studio join the billion-dollar club this year? Despicable Me 4 is at 3, $807 million. That franchise continues to make bank at the box office. Dune Part 2 is at 4, $710 million worldwide. Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire is at 5 at 568. Kung Fu Panda 4 at 6 at 545 million. 7 and 8 are Chinese films, and then Bad Boys Ride or Die at 9 with 396 million, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes also at 396 million. So the big movie coming out this weekend is Alien Romulus. The new addition to the Alien franchise is getting a lot of positive buzz leading into it. There's no mainstream box office success actors in it. They're all up-and-coming young actors. So the movie is squarely based on the IP. We'll see if that does well in theaters. So this upcoming week, I will have a review of Alien Romulus and add a theater reaction for Alien Romulus. And I'm doing a full franchise ranking of Alien after I see Alien Romulus. More videos are coming to the channel. I'll talk to you guys soon.